Hello folks, it's Kelly Buckley, Managing Principal for Spectrum Financial Alliance. You've probably noticed that the market's down right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This does happen occasionally. But you know, that's how markets work. So we have to look at that situation pragmatically, leaving all the fear and all the anxiety out of the equation. That is easier said than done, right? But it's so easy to get discouraged when we're in one of these investment blips. Do you realize that the 5-year return on the Dow Jones is less than 3% per year right now? Folks, that's an outlier. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened before, but it means it's very unusual. And guess what? Those type of outliers are where the very next large upside market movement always starts. President Carter's policies and now President Biden's policies have produced very similar and very predictable poor results. But just as President Reagan came into office correcting President Carter's policies, and that fixed things, our next president's policy approach is also likely to produce predictively expansive economic results. Our firm anticipates the end of this decline is extremely near, and that the market will start to reflect what the political polls are already showing. Those polls recognize that Americans are dissatisfied with the policies and the results that led us down this economic and national security path. And those polls recognize that changes are coming and that a new dawn awaits. Folks, I am truly very optimistic. Our clients' portfolios are extremely undervalued and they are primed for large future progress. So don't let yourself get discouraged. We believe we're literally on the cusp of a major secular bull market. You know, I've talked at length about interest rates. Short-term rates have increased a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but now I believe that further increases are very unlikely. The Federal Reserve has no room to raise short-term rates. Now, long-term interest rates are likely to go up somewhat due to underlying inflation. That will adversely affect mortgage rates and real estate. But short-term rates, where our biggest concern is now, are likely to drop significantly next year as the Federal Reserve reduces rates like they have done during the 4th year in the presidential election cycle in 15 out of the last 17 times. The market doesn't think about all that information. It just reacts fearfully. Leave those fears behind you and know your investments are carefully chosen and they will be just fine. You know, in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, we read, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." I believe that, and it's why we do what we do. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.